You probably have some knowledge of how internal combustion engines work. They involve pistons, cams, explosions, etc. But do you know the difference between two-stroke and four-stroke engines? Throughout the history of automotive design, there have existed two main types of gasoline-powered combustion engines: the two-cycle, or two-stroke, and the four-cycle, or four-stroke engine. As you may have guessed, the names of each engine suggest exactly how they operate. For an engine to complete combustion, there needs to be combustion of the air-gas mixture and expulsion through the exhaust port. The way this process is repeated varies between each engine type. A two-cycle engine completes a combustion and exhaust cycle in only 2 strokes of the piston, whereas a four-cycle engine takes 4 strokes of the piston, thus their names. For a four-cycle engine, there's a power stroke where the piston is down, which is caused by combustion of the fuel mixture. Then there's an exhaust stroke where the piston is up, which pushes the gas up and out of the engine. The following 2 strokes include an intake where the piston is down to draw in the fuel, and a compression stroke where the piston is up to start the process all over again. Examining this process closer yields the observation that the whole cycle is powered by the initial combustion stroke. This means that the combustion of the fuel mixture needs to impart enough power on the piston to allow it to rotate the crankshaft twice. A two-cycle engine, on the other hand, has much simpler mechanics, as it basically consolidates the different processes of a four-stroke engine. There is a power stroke, which also releases the exhaust after a certain amount of travel, then an intake and compression stroke that draws in new fuel and completes combustion. These are the basic mechanics of each engine type, but both have significant advantages and disadvantages, which has ultimately led to a more widespread use of the four-stroke engine. Looking first at efficiency, a four-stroke engine achieves great efficiency due to the fact that nearly no fuel is wasted in the intake cycle. In other words, the fuel is drawn into a closed system. In a two-stroke engine, since the fuel is drawn in during a combined intake and compression stroke, the mechanics needed for this also means that some fuel can escape while being drawn into the cylinder, thus decreasing efficiency. Modern two-strokes use fuel injection, which increases their efficiency to levels close to four strokes, but generally, a four-stroke can be much more efficient. Efficiency isn't everything, though. A four-stroke is certainly more efficient, but they also weigh upwards of 50% more than a comparable two-stroke engine. This weight is due to more complexity within the motor's mechanism, which also leads to significantly more moving parts in a four-cycle engine. In terms of simpleness and easiness to fix, a two-stroke engine easily wins out. The last main difference between these engine types is how oil is added to the engine. In a two-stroke engine, the oil is typically mixed with the fuel, usually somewhere in a 50-to-1 to 20-to-1 range. This makes oil application fairly reliable, but it also means increased fuel cost and fuel modification when you buy it. A four-cycle engine uses normal gasoline, like your car, which also happens to be a four-stroke engine, and the oil is injected from a separate reservoir. This eases the burden of fueling the engine up, but of course there's always the possibility that the fuel pump will break. All things considered, even with the drawbacks of the four-stroke, four-cycle engines maintain higher efficiency over two-strokes and can produce more power than comparable two-stroke engines. There have been cars made with two-stroke engines, but they mostly died off in the early 1980s due to efficiency constraints. Modern two-stroke engines are still produced for small watercraft and gardening equipment. Sometimes simple design, like the two-stroke engine, doesn't always beat out more complex mechanics. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you can watch more of our videos here and here, or if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel here. We have videos coming out every Monday, and if you really like our channel and want to make sure we can keep producing content, you can support us on Patreon here. Thanks for watching.